particle board? Cheap flat pack product with limited tools and experience. Particle board.
Plywood is no longer the de facto material for cabinets. Particle board is so much better in one specific way that not even MDF is safe from being displaced. Ancient Egyptians cut wood thinly and glued it together. Later, in 1797, a patent searched in England, and in 1865, plywood was introduced in the US. 150 years of habit is the main reason most carpenters despise particle board. But remember, the only constant in life is change, and particle board is here to stay. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Walt. I'm an architect based in Colombia, and on this channel we explore the intricate world of interior design, architecture, and my personal passion for kitchens. First of all the materials we'll talk about here are what's known as composites, meaning they're produced from two or more constituent materials. These materials have notably dissimilar chemical or physical properties and are merged to create a material with properties unlike the individual elements. Within the finished structure, the individual elements remain separate. In short, they are all man-made and have a bunch of things inside that are clearly distinguishable. I mean, you can see them. One example of engineered composite is reinforced concrete, where concrete's relatively low ductility is compensated with the inclusion of steel bars reinforcements. Another example of engineered composites are engineered woods, our main topic. Engineered woods comprises a range of derivative wood products which are manufactured by binding the strands, particles, fibers, or veneers together with adhesives. Here's where we find MDF, particle board, and of course our defending champion, plywood. Honestly, there's really nothing too wrong about plywood. It has a solid history involving the Egyptians, have a fancy English patent background, and it's been around the US workshops for 150 plus years. That's already extremely good marketing material. Something good has to have, right? Let's start with its novelty. It is made by gluing together thin sheets, or plies, of wood veneer in alternating directions, rotated up to 90 degrees to one another. That perpendicular grain pattern has given it years of fame by adding strength, reducing the tendency to split when nailed at the edges, reducing expansion and shrinkage, and it makes the strength of the panel consistent across all directions. Smaller, thinner, and lower quality plywoods may only have their plies arranged at right angles to each other. Some better quality plywood products will by design have 5 plies instead of 45 degrees, starting with 0, 45, 90, 135, and 180 degrees, giving strength in multiple axes. Particle board, also called chipboard, is manufactured by high-pressing particles of flakes of wood together with a resin and forming the mixture into a sheet. Its full name is medium density particle board, or MDP. Unlike plywood, particle board suffers from really bad marketing. Clients go online for a quick search of particle board. Of course, we head directly to Wikipedia, where it says particle board is cheaper, denser, and more uniform than conventional wood and plywood, and is substituted for them when cost is more important than strength and appearance. Who would like to use a material that's referenced like that? That's bad marketing right there. Even Wikipedia will give you unfair info about it. Notice the lack of references? In fact, when we check the revisions, the very first entry back in 2004 for particle board already came with a planted seed of despise for future generations, saying it is used as a cheaper and less durable substitute for solid wood or plywood. And even after 856 intermediate revisions by more than 100 users, that contextless, unresearched phrase written by someone who specifically says in his bio that he's interested in architecture but doesn't know much about it, that phrase hasn't evolved much. And we're in 2024 now, and that Wikipedia article still has not too many references to trusted investigations about it. It's no surprise it is viewed as an inferior building product. Now, in some way, it actually is, but not so much. Let me explain. The chips it's made out of, being around 3 to 4 millimeter long or an 1/8 to 1/4 inch, make it obviously less compact than plywood, leaving more gaps between the particles, and if it gets wet, well, the inevitable happens. Its susceptibility to expansion and discoloration from moisture absorption is a significant disadvantage of regular particle board, particularly when it's not covered with paint or another sealer. Also, particle board really is usually less expensive than plywood, and like Barshik says, it has been used as a cheaper substitute for plywood. So yes, the regular particle board has around 1/3 of the strength of plywood and soaks water like a bouquet of flowers. But what most carpenters and those 100 Wikipedia users aren't taking into account is that today there are many different kinds of particle board. The technology has given us high moisture resistant particle board, or HMRPB or MDPMR. These materials have so many names, mainly because contractors and suppliers are not consistent when calling them, because they don't call them that often. This new HMR particle board is antifungal, high density, borer and termite resistant, fire retardant, and of course moisture resistant. You can recognize it visually because it is tinted green in the core layers, and when HMR is coated with a melamine finish, it really is the winning combo. I'll show you in a bit, but before that, we need to talk about its well-known cousin, the MDF. MDF stands for Medium Density Fiberboard. It's made by breaking down either hardwood or softwood residuals into wood fiber, combining it with wax and a resin binder, and forming it into panels by applying high temperature and pressure, resulting in a solid and very uniform board with good finish and a relative durability. There are a number of reasons why sometimes MDF may be used instead of plywood or particle board. It is dense, flat, stiff, and has no knots, and is easily machined. It does not have an easily recognizable surface grain. MDF can be painted to produce a smooth quality surface. Because MDF has no grain, it can be cut, drilled, machined, and filed without damaging the surface. It really is something else. Currently, MDF boards are widely used for carpentry, as they are compatible with a number of different finishes, including simple and lacquered paint. You can find them in your wall baseboard, door jambs, crown moldings. They have gained a place in the carpentry world basically because they don't compete with plywood. They're mostly used for decorative and complementary purposes. Some disadvantages is that it looks like cardboard and kind of behaves like cardboard when around water, but there do exist options on the market that are more resistant to moisture and sometimes even fire. I don't want to be the bullshit of MDF. Okay. MDF, just like particle board, contains small quantities of a substance called urea formaldehyde, which may be released from the material through cutting, sanding, and slow release over time. You might have heard of it because formaldehyde is classified by the WHO as a known human carcinogen. The levels of emission of the panels are vastly studied and highly controlled. For example, all particle board and MDF manufacturers that want to sell in the United States have to meet the requirements of a general regulator, and for California residents, there is a specific one. Formaldehyde is an intermediate in the combustion of methane as well as of other carbon compounds. It is also present in forest fires, car exhausts, tobacco smoke, and plywood. Talking about plywood, let's see how it works on the inside. A typical plywood panel has face veneers of a higher grade than the core veneers. The principal function of the core layers is to increase the separation between the outer layers, where the bending stresses are highest, thus increasing the panel's resistance to bending. As a result, thicker panels can span greater distances under the same loads. In bending, the maximum stress occurs in the outermost layers, one in tension and the other in compression. Bending stress decreases from the maximum at the face layers to nearly zero at the central layer. The moment it stops being zero is where it starts to bend. There are several types of plywood depending on the application. There's softwood, hardwood, tropical wood, aircraft plywood, decorative plywood. Oh yeah, aircraft plywood. It's made from mahogany using adhesives with an increased resistance to heat and humidity. It was used in the construction of air assault gliders during World War II. Now, why on earth a material that's even airworthy is not the best option for my kitchen and bath cabinets? To answer that, let's go back to our HMR melamine combo. Melamine is a resin-coated pattern paper that resembles wood. When melamine paper is bonded directly to a substrate such as particle board, it is known as melamine board. Now, the reasons why the crown is going to change hands soon are: first, the typical melamine surface is completely waterproof and hence can be cleaned up with soap and water. Second, particle board is available with a synchronized melamine phase, where the texture follows the printed wood grain, providing surfaces that look real even to the touch, and there are hundreds of wood colors available. Every day it gets harder to distinguish melamine particle board from the real wood finish. Reason number 3. Particle board is made 99% from recycled wood particles, reducing pressure on forests by repurposing materials that may have otherwise gone unused. This alone should be enough reason to prefer it. Go Team Trees! Number 4. HMR boards are designed to resist moisture effectively, making them suitable for high traffic areas and places exposed to moisture, such as kitchens and bathrooms. They outperform plywood with flying colors, especially once the edge banding is applied. Number 5. When you see that green color, you know that it's also antifungal, high density, termite resistant, and fire retardant. This is all certified. And number 6. Melamine boards are usually graded density, which means that they're based on the same principle as plywood, having coarser particles to the outer edges that work with tension and compression, and the softwood centers separating the edges, making it way stronger than regular particle board, reaching the resistance of plywood and also reaching its crown. If you're interested, these are the numbers to back all of this up. That being said, the particle board that is moisture resistant and is coated with melamine finish is perfectly well suited for cabinet boxes, doors, drawers, shelves, and areas requiring moisture resistance and durability. MDF can be used for cabinet doors, custom embellishments, and inlays on cabinet surfaces. Actually, MDF doors are the most durable door when painted with something like polyurethane because they get fully sealed. However, once they get chipped and the MDF is exposed, the story changes, so be aware. And plywood, my friends, we can say it gave a good battle, but it can and will be replaced sooner than later. It's a matter of getting clients, suppliers, and fellow architects interested in exploring new materials and make them challenge conventional practices. This is what I call continuous learning, and it's a crucial part of the journey all of us have to embark to really witness professional evolution. The journey has 3 other principles, and in this video, I walk you through them all. Thanks for watching, and I catch you in the next one. Ciao!